second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft.
Jameson, how you doing, man? It's Brad Holmes, GM of the Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions select.
All right, well, we trade up in the spot. We're about to pick you right here, man. Hey, come in here, get healthy, take the top off, and be the dog that you are, man. All right? Congratulations, man.
We're thrilled. Can't wait for you to get here and get healthy.
Aiden Hutchinson.
With the 2023 NFL Draft starting tonight, I thought it'd be fun to look back and review Brad Holmes' 2022 NFL Draft. The Lions had the second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and they selected edge rusher out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson. And Hutchinson definitely lived up to the number 2 selection overall, as he had one of the most productive rookie seasons by any first-year pass rusher in NFL history. For his rookie season, he recorded 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, becoming the only rookie in NFL history to produce such a stat line. Hutchinson had a phenomenal rookie season and was runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Aiden sounds ready to continue with the heat moving into his sophomore season, as he says his rookie season was just a little appetizer. He says, "That's how I view it, a little appetizer. That was me being a rookie and quite not knowing, especially earlier in the year, not quite knowing the NFL and how things go and stuff like that. You give me the whole offseason of training, I'm going to take off to a new level." Hutchinson has also received a lot of attention and praise regarding his work ethic. Let's hope it shows next season. The Lions' second selection of the 2022 NFL Draft, at 12th overall, they selected wide receiver out of Alabama, Jameson Williams. The Lions traded up in the draft to take Jameson Williams, shipping off the 32, 34, and 66 overall picks to the Vikings, taking their 12th. And the grade of this pick is still uncertain, as Williams was extremely limited going into the 2022 NFL season. Williams tore his ACL in the college football championship against Georgia early 2022, and the Lions knew he'd be extremely limited if he even played at all. In the few snaps that Williams did participate in, he showed a lot of hope and a lot of talent. Sadly, due to recent suspensions, we're going to have to wait till week 7 to see what Williams can do. I still have high hopes for Jameson Williams and believe that his career will turn out just fine in Detroit, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. The next pick will be looking at the Lions' third pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, coming out of round 2, pick 46 overall, edge rusher out of Kentucky, Josh Paschal. Sadly, Josh missed training camp, the preseason, and the first 5 games of the season due to injury. Josh only played in 10 games throughout the year and only started 4. He did have a great game against the Bears, sacking Justin Fields twice, but those are the only sacks he would record on the season. Due to injury, missing the preseason and training camp, we really didn't get to see the full version of Josh Paschal. Even with his limited playtime, he still found a way to put good pressure on the quarterback, and as I mentioned earlier, recorded 2 sacks. So here's to hoping that next year, Paschal shows everyone that he was a great second round pick. Moving on to the Lions' 4th pick in the draft. Round 3, pick 97th overall, safety Kirby Joseph out of Illinois. Out of all the Lions rookies last season, Kirby Joseph was easily one of the most exciting ones to watch, and not just because of his backflips out of the tunnel. In week 3 against the Vikings, Tracy Walker went down with a season-ending injury, and Kirby Joseph was there to step in. And after that, Kirby Joseph took off, recording 4 interceptions, 3 from Aaron Rodgers, 82 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and forcing 2 fumbles. Kirby Joseph showed everyone that he could perform as an elite defensive back, and he was a steal in this draft. Brad Holmes taking him in the late 3rd round, and for Kirby Joseph to perform and have a season like he did, an absolute steal in the draft, and Kirby Joseph is going to be playing a huge role in continuing to improve the Lions defense next season. The next player Brad Holmes drafted, round 5, pick 177, tight end James Mitchell out of Virginia Tech. James Mitchell didn't have an extremely crazy rookie season, but he was extremely consistent and put up solid numbers. He was targeted 11 times throughout the season and completed 100% of his catches for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. Especially with the Lions trading Hockenson in Minnesota, Mitchell found himself playing a bigger role in the Lions offense. Being a day 3 round 5 tight end selection, I would say James Mitchell lived up to all of his expectations and definitely did what he was supposed to do. And with another training camp and another preseason building that chemistry with the team, I would expect James Mitchell to play a bigger role in the offense next year. The 6th player Brad Holmes drafted, round 6 pick 188, linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez out of Oklahoma State. Rodriguez originally fell in the draft all the way to round 6 because of his combine statistics. His wingspan was a bit short compared to other linebackers, and we know in the NFL it's very important to have a big wingspan, especially in the linebacker position. Additionally, Malcolm Rodriguez weighed a little bit less than the other linebackers, making him a smaller size. Even though Rodriguez was undersized, he still worked hard and worked his way into the starting linebacker role before the season even started. And with only missing a small part of the season due to injury, Malcolm Rodriguez put up a solid rookie season, recording 87 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 2 blocked passes, forcing a fumble, and a fumble recovery. The only downside of Malcolm Rodriguez's rookie season was he seemed to struggle in coverage, especially catching up if he misread a play. He seemed to never be able to catch up to his man. This might be something that Detroit looks at next season by pairing Malcolm Rodriguez up with a linebacker that specializes or that's extremely good in coverage. Nonetheless, he had a phenomenal rookie season, putting up the numbers he did after being drafted in the 6th round, earning that starting role and starting all season. The next player Brad Holmes took, the star of the Lions 2022 rookie class, round 6, pick 217, edge rusher James Houston out of Jackson State. James Houston didn't play until Thanksgiving Day against Buffalo, played 7 games on the season, and recorded 8 sacks. Houston was one of the best pass rushers in all of the NFL last season, having the highest pass rush win rate in all of the league. And he did this all after initially not making the Lions' 53-man roster. Hutchinson and James Houston were the first set of rookie teammates in NFL history to each have at least 8 sacks in the same season, and that was with James Houston only playing half of the season. All the Lions rookies last year combined for a grand total of 20.5 sacks, setting the new NFL record for the most combined sacks from a team's rookie corps. James Houston was a phenomenal pick by Brad Holmes, a steal in the draft, and is going to play a huge role in the Lions defense next season. And for the last player Brad Holmes took in the draft, the 8th player the Lions selected, round 7, pick 237 overall, cornerback Chase Lucas out of Arizona State. Out of the 8 players from the 2022 draft class, Chase Lucas was definitely the most underwhelming player, but that's expected as he was the last one drafted. Chase Lucas only appeared in 6 games last season and dealt with injuries throughout the year, including a season-ending hamstring injury in week 14. Hopefully his upcoming sophomore season is brighter, as the coaching staff seems to like him, especially Dan Campbell seems to really like Chase Lucas, but at the very least maybe he'll find himself on special teams. After reviewing the 2022 draft class, it's time to give out the grades, and just looking back as a whole, this was one of the best rookie classes out of all the league last year. Me personally, always being unbiased, I would say the Lions had the best draft class last season, but there's an argument for Kansas City, maybe Seattle, but the Lions at the very least are definitely up there. Starting off with Aiden Hutchinson being picked 2 overall, having 9.5 sacks, being one of the most efficient defensive players out of all the league last season, having 3 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. I don't know if there's anything more you could have asked from this guy. Aiden Hutchinson's grade is definitely an A. It's undisputed. Moving on to Jameson Williams, I feel like you can't really grade his draft yet, as he was extremely limited last season, and now with the 6-game suspensions, we're going to have to wait even longer. Hopefully he still has a phenomenal season next year, but I'm going to say you can't really put a grade on Jameson Williams' draft. Next up, Josh Pascal. He was definitely one of the more underwhelming rookies in this draft class, but showed a lot of glimpses of potential talent. His statistics weren't anything crazy, only recording 2 sacks in the season, but he's definitely showed that he can still be a big help for this Detroit Lions defense, and maybe with improvement with this offseason in the training camp, he could begin to play a big role. Overall, I would give him a C, maybe C-. Now it's time for Kirby Joseph's grade. I don't see how you could grade Kirby Joseph anything but an A. Coming in after week 3, filling in for Tracy Walker, he wasn't originally supposed to be a starter, filling in for Tracy Walker, and then turning the Lions secondary into something that could actually play some defense. Kirby Joseph, 8 deflected passes, forcing 4 interceptions, coming in the late 3rd round was an absolute steal. Definitely an A. 5th pick, the Lions took James Mitchell, coming in on day 3, pick 177 overall. Wasn't the most flashiest tight end, didn't put up crazy numbers, but was 11 for 11 on his reception, scored a touchdown, definitely played his role. I don't think James Mitchell was a steal in this draft, but he definitely wasn't a bust. I think he lived up to his expectations, he lived up to his draft pick, maybe exceeded them a little bit, and with a hard season of training, with the offseason and preseason, if he continues to build that chemistry, I think he'll find himself playing a bigger role in the Lions offense. I would grade James Mitchell at a B. Moving on to linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. Malcolm Rodriguez, as I said, found his way into the starting lineup after the preseason, worked really hard, and had a pretty solid rookie season. There were a few holes and gaps in his game, like I mentioned, his pass coverage, but with a hard-working offseason, he could definitely improve that. I would grade Malcolm Rodriguez at a C+. And lastly, James Houston. I'm not going to really grade Chase Lucas because I feel like there wasn't much to grade. James Houston, everyone knows it's an A. Came out Thanksgiving week, played 7 games, and had 8 sacks. Imagine if he would have played the full season. I don't see how you could grade James Houston anything but an A. Honestly, he's not even an A. He's an A+. I can't wait to watch his first full season in the NFL. Anyway, that concludes breaking down the Lions 2022 draft class, Brad Holmes' second draft as GM. I'm going to break down the 2021 draft class next. This was a phenomenal draft class from the Lions, and I hope we get a just as good one next season. If you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And once again, as always, thanks for watching.